Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about generative adversarial networks. Shortly we can say called as GAN models. It is comes under the 5th unit topic. So this is the agenda of my session. Introduction about generative models and what is GAN, how the GAN works, then what are all the components in GAN network, then training of GAN, then implementation example, application of GAN, and challenges and future scope. These are the overview of my presentation. So first we start from the artificial intelligence because the GAN comes under the artificial intelligence domain. So AI is the theory and development of the computer system able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence. Another subset of artificial intelligence is machine learning algorithms. So machine learning gives the computer the ability to learn without explicit programming. So by using the machine learning algorithm, it can learn from the past data. So it consists of two broad variety of algorithms inside in the machine learning. One is the supervised learning, another one is unsupervised learning. In the supervised learning, here all the data are labeled, whereas the unsupervised learning, the data are not labeled, that is unlabeled data. And one more learning algorithm under the machine learning is supervised learning and unsupervised learning apart from the reinforcement learning. So this is mainly used for online games. That means it learns from the current circumstance. It learns something, what the next step, how to it can predict how to act for the future. So this is another type of machine learning algorithms. So machine learning algorithm, there are three major categories. One is a supervised learning, another one is unsupervised learning, another one is a reinforcement learning. So in this supervised learning, the data are labeled, whereas the unsupervised learning, the data are not labeled. The reinforcement learning, it is a learning from the current situations. Then another topic is deep learning. So the deep learning means if the data are too complex and large number means we go with the deep learning. So under the deep learning, the generative AI coming to the picture. So supervised learning implies the data is already labeled, already we discussed. So in supervised learning, we are learning from the past example to predict the future value. Whereas the unsupervised learning, it implies the data is not labeled. This is the important point. Unsupervised problems are all about looking at the raw data and see if it naturally falls in the groups. That is, it grouping the data under some common features. So this is the flow of the supervised learning as well as the unsupervised learning. The supervised learning, we are giving input to the model. So after the model, it will predict the future based on the past data. So we have to compare the predict value with the expected output. If there is any difference between the predict value and the expected value, means we have to find out the error. Then we have to tune the model. Once again we tune the model or update the model. Again we have to compile the model and verify the predicted value with the expected value. This way the supervised learning is going on. Whereas the unsupervised learning, just we are giving the input data, we frame the one model, so it generated the example based on the common features in the single cluster. Then deep learning uses artificial neural networks, allowing them to process more complex pattern than the traditional machine learning. This is the main pointer. So deep learning is mainly suitable for complex patterns. So generative AI is a subset of deep learning. Whereas deep learning is comes under the machine learning is comes under the artificial intelligence. So this is the domain concept. So what is generative AI means? It is a type of artificial intelligence that creates new content based on what it has learned from the existing content. Here one new thing has happened, that is new. It creates a new content based data. So whereas in the deep learning or machine learning, they won't create a new data. They are doing only by seeing the past data and it will predict the value for future. Whereas the generative AI, it creates the new content based on the previous data. That is the main point. The process of learning from the existing content is called training and results in the creation of the statistical model. When given a prompt, Gen AI uses this statistical model to predict what an expected response might be and this generated new content. So finally, the Gen AI is a type of artificial intelligence that creates new content based on what it has learned from the existing content. So how it creates the new one? From the existing content by using learning algorithms. So another subset of deep learning is a large language models. So this is also used for creating new things from video to text. So there are two models. One is the predictive ML model, another one is a Gen AI model. So for our normal machine learning model, it learns the relationship between data and the label. So already we discussed in the machine learning comes under the supervised learning. The data as well as the labels are given to the model. So it will give the output with label. Whereas the Gen AI, there is no label concept, only giving the input. That input is unstructured content. So it gives the output that is a new content. This is the major difference between the predictive ML model and the Gen AI model. So this is the common formula for creating the generative models. So what it says means y is equal to f of x, where x is equal to input data and then y is equal to output data. So whenever if we are giving any x input data, it is converted into output form. So by using the mapping function f, here f is equal to model. So the building model, we have to consider training code as well as the label data. From this model, we can predict for future or classify the data or cluster the data. So in the three categories, we can use it the model for our project. Then type of generative model, there are two types, generative language model and generative image model. So generative language models learn about the patterns in the language through the training data. So in this case, it learn the patterns in the language through the training data. So then give some text and then predict what comes next. So a familiar example for this generating language model is our Gmail app. In this we can type any mail to some company, means automatically it will complete the next sentence. Then generative image model. Generative image model produce the new images using the technique like diffusion. Then the given prompt or related imaginary, they transform the random noise into images or generate the images from the photos. So here the varieties of input types and then output types. So here input type is image and text. If the input is image type, we can get the output text as well as the image and video. So image to text, example for image to text conversion, image captioning, visual question answering, image captioning. Then output is image means super resolution, image completion. So super resolution means just enhancement of the image. Suppose if you are giving any image with have some dull color, means it converted into enhancement color view. Image captioning means your input is giving any image, means in that image it will tell what is the object inside in the image. Suppose if you are giving one image like your office, means it capture the this is the table, this is the chair, this is the monitor, then this is the pen, like this it object finding. Then if the input is image, it will give the video also, that is by using the animation techniques. In next type is input is text, we can get the output text, image, audio and decisions. In four categories we can convert the text into other form. So for text to text translation, Google translation is the example for this case. Then summarization, then question answering, then grammar corrections. So text to image means super resolution similar to image to image. So image completions. Suppose if you are giving the word rose, R-O-S-E means it will give the rose picture, beautiful rose picture. Then output means text to speech. So if you are giving any sentence, means it converted into speech. Then output decisions means play games. This is used for playing the online games. So these are the variety of applications. Then how it is going means by using the decoding and encoding and decoding the component by pre-trained transfer model. Then prompting means the language model. By using the language model, the output is summarization, writing and keyword extractions. So once you are starting any project means you have to concentrate the three cases. One is the forming the database, then generating the content and inputting prompt. So how to retrieve the output from the input? So we should know all the three cases. So the generative model types is, there are 4 types: text to text, text to image, text to video and text to 3D. Already we discussed in the previous slides. So this is the some example for simple example for conversions, that is text to text. Suppose your input is opposite of yellow means it will give some purple color. Then text to audio, if you are giving the people talking in a busy restaurant means it will give the audio like some buzz sound. Then speech to text. The speech to text is, the speech is converted into text. Mostly this is used for taking notes in the any group discussions or business meeting, etc. Then so next, this is the example for text to image. If you are giving the text Einstein sitting in the basement, it will give the image like this. Ugly cat is your input means it shows this cat picture, and you can combine these two images by using the fusion of a human and a cat seated in animals, that is image to image. So here the images, two images is the input, whereas the output also images, but we have to do some fusions between these two images. So after that, image to text. Again, if you are giving the image like this means it converted into text. So first we are giving text to image, then image to image, then image to text. So these are the variety of applications in model type. So text to video means if you are giving any word means it shows the videos related to our input. Then generative AI applications landscape. It shows all the categories. For text marketing, the text generative model is used for marketing, sales, support, general and note taking, etc. So for code, by using the generative model, we can generate the code also, code documentation, text to SQL, web application builders. Then image generation, for image case, image generation, consumer, then median, advising and designs. Then speech for video synthesis. Then video editing also used by generative AI applications. So nowadays the video editing is very much interested in YouTube applications. Then 3D models and 3D scenes. For example, if you are giving any two-dimensional input, that is a tree. If you are giving one image with a two-dimensional tree means it shows the three-dimensional tree. Then these are some other examples also available in generative AI: gaming, RPA, music and audio, then healthcare, that is biology and chemistry. RPA is nothing but robotic automated process. So this is the famous example for image to image translations. In this case, turning a horse video into zebra video. That means it is already available in YouTube. So one horse video is converted into zebra video by using the cycle GANs. So this is another example for the GAN model. In this case, we are giving the side face of any person means it will give the front face of the particular person. So in this case, there are two front faces are available. That means by using the two type of GAN models. So which one is effectively, we will see later. So this is the another application. If you are giving the side face of the particular person means it will give the front view of that particular person by using the GAN model by different algorithms. So this is the example for text to image. If you are giving the text descriptions like the bird is a red and brown color with the sharpie beak means it shows the bird like the text input. So these are the another example for text to image. Now enter into the GAN. What is GAN? So GANs are a class of machine learning frameworks designed by Goodfellow and his colleagues in 2014. So they consist of two competing neural networks, a generator and a neural network. So we have to focus on these 2 points only. So in the GAN model, 2 competing neural networks. So GAN is nothing but a neural networks. So it consists of 2 neural networks. One is the generator, another one is a discriminator, that work together to create and evaluate the data. That means, what is the function of generator? Means it create the data, whereas the discriminator, it evaluate the data, that is discriminate the data. So the overview of a GAN is generative model that create the data